He's in here. Welcome, Right Surviving. Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. Already, you're first in the cannon, first lap. I didn't even get the chance to say welcome yet. That's a trooper. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get a few things started before I turn my camera on. It's the normal process. Gotta send out some things, get some things set up. But we'll be starting here shortly. Oh man. He said, yes, sir, I'm chilling. Hey, man, that's what Saturdays are for. A lot of people like to go out, though. It's not really my vibe, but yeah. Just got a few more minutes, and we will be up. let's get this camera on. Let's get this show on the road. See, overhead. Well, first and foremost, let me greet you guys. Let me go on the Just Talking cam. See how y'all doing on this fine Saturday afternoon. We have a few repairs in the queue, as we always do these days, which is a good problem to have. Where we're going to be working on a Nintendo Switch OLED. Customer states if there's a broken HDMI port. HDMI port, I'm tripping. USB-C port. So I guess the console's not receiving any charge. I have another Nintendo Switch non-OLED. I think it's a V2. It's the Fortnite version of the console. And it received some water damage, so we're going to work on that. And then we have an Xbox Series X that came in for a broken HDMI port. And yeah, it's cooked. Wow, that is some serious dust in there. So yeah, we'll be getting to that today. So let's go ahead, let's not waste any time, and let's just do it. Yo, it's LL Stan the Man, LL. Over on the YouTube side. What's up? What's good, Mike? Top bloke over there. That's my cousin, guys. Feel like the intro to the Wayans Bros. That's funny. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Let's flip the camera over. Enough of my corny jokes. Alright, so I think I'm going to work in order of least difficult to most difficult to try to get the most done. So the Xbox will be number 2. This water damaged Fortnite. Oh, my camera. Oh, that's right. I adjusted my camera because I did the unboxing of the Nintendo Switch 2. So give me a second. Let me just adjust it up a little bit. Okay, second. People liked my last story post. In my story post to tell everybody I was going live, I put yes, I can put the Switch 2 down and do some work. Just my little way of being funny, because yes, I can be like a little kid sometimes when it comes to video games, especially when you have a new console, right? You just want to play it. We got friends over here tuning in as well, no pressure. Yo, why you had to tell me that, man? You ain't had to do that. But no, I appreciate it. More eyeballs, the better. It's funny, GameCube Galaxy texted me on Instagram. He's like, I know the feeling. Because, you know, he got the new Switch, but he's a content... Oh, I hate... That's so weird to say. I'm a content creator. Ugh. But he's in the same boat as me, where, like, you know, he has videos he's trying to get out and work he has to do. So the customer included Joy-Cons. I forgot to tell them to keep them. I don't typically like to receive the Joy-Cons, but that's okay. Oh, let's go ahead and apply power to this and see how much current this thing is pulling. Just to kind of verify if it's the port or not. Because if it pulls nothing, almost as if it's not even detecting that a cable's connected, especially with this known good cable I have, then I'll know it's the port 1000%. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I think my dad has it where notifications are turned on, but he's a boomer, and I'm not saying that facetiously. So let me text him. He usually likes when I text him. And you know what? I'm gonna text my boy Gene, the homie. He asked that I text him. And then I'm going to text the group chat. Wish I had a script or a bot that can just text everybody. Alright, so I have my power supply here that can give me readings on what the current draw is. Let's go ahead and see if it pulls anything. Excuse me. Okay, so it's pulling half an amp. I think by now it should spike up and pull more current. I think it's that charging IC. So I don't think it's the USB-C port. I don't think it's the USB-C port now. I know I have one of those chips in stock. Yeah, it's at 0.2 amps. That's way too low. The switch should be pulling about... Oh, you guys can't see it here, what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can get it kind of in the screen here. Yeah, there we go. Top right of the screen behind chat window, you'll see how much voltage and current the switch is pulling. Right now it's pulling 5.2 volts, which is expected, but it's only pulling 0.2 amps, and it's been plugged in for over like 5 seconds. At this point, it should be pulling more current. So that tells me it's not the port that's the problem, it's that IC. So it's going to advance the repair a little bit. I'm going to have to go grab that part. I only grabbed USB-C ports and brought them near me, but I'm going to need that that chip. I believe I have one in stock. If not, I'm going to have to get one on order. Dang it. Because I want to get this thing returned to the customer. Let me see. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just checking my stock. Oh, nice. My brother just texted me. He's Oh, bet. Nice. Nice. I do have the chip in stock. It looks like I have 2 of them as well. So that's clutch. So 2 of these Nintendo Switch ICs. I believe they're, what is it, the M92? Yeah, these M92 chips. These things are known for failing. So let me just go ahead and take this thing apart and get my hot iron ready. I mean, my hot air station ready. Oh, I dropped a bit. Get back here, you hot air nozzle. Sometimes being full of hot air is not a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Alright, let me get my gloves on. Let's go ahead and get this started. But yeah, I was saying earlier, my oldest brother, emphasis on old. Excuse me. It's a joke I have. It's a running joke where I just call him old. He's actually working on his handheld. He has a ROG Ally X, and I think he's gonna do a trigger upgrade. Okay, there's no video game in there. I just like to check this because sometimes this gets in the way of things, and no SD card port or XD card in the slot. So just some preliminary checks. Obviously, I can't test this further than this because there's no power. So Nintendo's notorious for using tri-wing screwdrivers, so we're gonna go ahead and get our bit there. Nice. You know what? Let me text him too, because he was telling me he wanted to see me go live at least once in his life. So let me do that. Let me text him. Oh wait, I sent the same link twice. What? Okay. Oh, my bad. I sent the customer the Twitch link twice. I meant to send the Twitch link and the YouTube link. There you go. Okay. Alright. Enough of the distractions. Alright, let's go ahead and do it. Bottom left screen. But yeah, so my personal Switch 2 came in, and that's going to be the Switch I'm going to do the breakdown with. The teardown next Saturday. So that one came in, and then the giveaway Switch also, not giveaway, I gotta stop saying that because I don't want that to come back and bite me, but it's a sweepstakes. I had to look up the legal side of it, and I gotta refer to it to the proper thing. It's a legal sweepstakes. B is good. I'm working on the regular. Oh, I didn't even know you were in here. My bad, Rich. Richie! I'm telling you, man, Richie's charisma stat is OD, man. It's OD. He hates when I say it, but it's true. Alright. I will say, taking apart the Switch is not as daunting as I initially thought it would be. It still can be a pain at times, but it's not that bad actually. You know, on the original Switch, you had to take these side screws off. Still the case. Righteous Vibing said, so my PS5 only allows me to download 2 to 3 games for the most part without having to delete other games. Do you know why? Righteous Vibing is probably because games these days are so big and you're running out of storage. If I had to guess. You play what do you play? Like games like Call of Duty, I know is a big file. Any MMO type game like Warframe, Destiny, those are all large games. So that may be why. So my PS5 only has been down like 2 to 3 games for the most part. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, nice. My cousin Randy's gonna hop in. Nice. That's cool. I think it's his first time hopping in one of my live streams. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. No, I'm not. Gotta be as careful as you can with these things. You don't want to break them while you're opening them. So I like to use these pick tools. They allow me to like kind of get in there and start lifting up the clips after you remove the screws, and then from there, nice. Nice. Okay, top screws right there. There it is. So it's the middle. It's just the top screw. Okay. It's a little bit different than the Switch one. Alright, we got the back cover off. Voila. Nice. And this Switch is in great condition. I have to give the owners credit. They really took care of their console. Hey, it's Randy! Yo! First time he hopped in. That's what's up. Big Ram. I'm working on a Nintendo Switch OLED. So this console came in because it wasn't charging. Wasn't receiving any charge, and I just confirmed that with my power supply here. I have a power bank that lets me know how much power it's pulling, and it was pulling way too little and it wasn't ramping up. So what the Nintendo Switch does is Um, as soon as you connect power to it, it pulls like half an amp, and then it ramps up to about 2 amps in order to charge the battery. And typically, if it doesn't do that ramp up, you know there's a problem with a specific IC. IC meaning integrated circuit, or just chip, one of these little chips, and I have 2 of them in stock, thankfully. I knew I ordered them in the past because this is a pretty common issue. And it's the same chip used on the original Nintendo Switch as well. So this is a Nintendo Switch OLED. The same issue occurs on the Nintendo Switch version 1. It's the same chip, same IC. So right now we just have to remove these Wi-Fi antennas and lift up this connector. Get that ribbon cable removed. Alright, cool. Alright, we have some screws that we need to remove. We're going to go ahead and do that. And as you guys may know, if you've watched my stream before, I like to mark the screws so I know what I've taken off and where they should go. Just a little tip, a little trick that I do. It's nothing crazy. But yeah, Randy, that's what I'm working on. Thanks for tuning in, man. It's nice to have you on this fine Saturday. Okay, I'll just put a dot there and move that another way. So we just need to get this shielding off in order to get access to the motherboard, where we're going to replace that IC, that chip, and see if that solves the issue. If that doesn't solve the issue, maybe the port is bad. I mean, I connected my cable and it just wasn't charging, so I'm gonna assume that's the chip, because that's most common. I could be wrong, but upon further breakdown, I'll be able to tell. Nice, yeah. I've been looking into cameras, an overhead camera that can get me more zoomed in. I think I found one at a local pawn shop that I have done business with. They're like a business-to-business customer. I'm gonna see if I can procure one of the DSLR cameras they have, because they have one Canon T7 Rebel that's in really good condition for a really good price. So might stop by and pick that up. Alright, let's make sure there's no screws I'm missing. There's 2 more screws. There's one in dead center here. Then we have a screw a little bit top left of where I am right now. Let's see if everything's gonna come up nice and smooth. I did remove all the screws, so let's see if there's anything that's gonna hang up. Should. Okay. So this wants to stay. Okay, it's just this antenna wire is still hooked in. Doesn't want to let go. There's the other hook. Got it. Nice. Yeah. Alright. So we got the RF shield off. Let's keep going. So that chip is it this one? Or is it this one? Here it is. Here's the M92 chip. Well, yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to see it. It's so tiny. Here, let me show you guys on the microscope before I continue. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so it's this guy. Right. Oh man, my microscope camera got a bit twisted. Alright, it's this black thing right here, right in dead center. Here, let me focus up the camera. Boom. So this guy's usually the culprit. This black piece right here, this black chip. But let's do some more digging just to make sure. I'm gonna look at the USB-C port under a microscope as well. Just do an inspection while I'm here. Okay. Alright, let's go back over to the overhead camera. We have some more disassembly to do in order to alright. Battery has been disconnected. Let's get the speaker disconnected. Gotta be very gentle with these very small plastic connectors. You know what? I might wait till later when I get the board out so I can just use my fingers. Let's see if I can lift it. Oh yeah, perfect. Nice. Alright, got that out, got that out. Let's keep going. Oh, they made it one assembly now. For the, oh, this is their anti-tamper sticker. This is how they know if you mess with the warrant, if you open the device. Is this right here, this sticker right here. Make sure I don't missing any comments. Oh, that's cool. Simple connector. Alright, let's put this to the side. Keep going. Alright, let's go ahead and just a lift style? Yes, but it's from the front, not the back. It's right here. Most of these ribbon cables have a latch on them, so it's just a matter of lifting the latch and then getting the cable out. Alright, let's lift this one. It's another speaker connection. Alright, let's go ahead and get the heatsink out. a separate assembly. Nice. So we're just gonna get this heat pipe, this copper heat pipe. Fun fact, copper is a lot better at conducting heat, but aluminum is better at dissipating heat. So that's why you see, like, when they want heat to go from one place to another, they use copper, and then when they want air to blow over it to get rid of the heat, use aluminum. And I've tested this in my day job before because we had to come up with a heat sink solution for one of our products, and that was one of our findings. So I've tested this in thermal chambers, in real life, basically, which is fun. I don't think I need to remove the fan assembly. I can work around that. I don't need to remove it. Work smarter, not harder. Alright, everything's looking good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take this time to let you guys know that Wolfpack Electronics has an official Discord. So if you're someone who's used to using Discord for any type of messaging or staying in a community, we have one. Link is in my channel below in my About section. Just click on the image that says Discord if you'd like to join. I'm going to start advertising that a bit more, or just getting the word out there. Because I think Discord is a good platform for, like, staying in touch, keeping up with a community. So if you're interested in joining, if you use that app often, welcome. Join the pack. We'll be there. That's probably where I'll be, like, hosting playtime events in the future, like just playing with you guys or whoever's interested. That's where it all go down. Alright, we're almost there to getting the motherboard out. We just need to carefully get it out and not pry on certain things. Not apply too much force. So we just have 2 tabs that we need to lift up. There we go. Ain't nobody getting no discounts. That's right. You're gonna have to be real good at Smash Bros. If you're gonna earn that discount. Maybe I should make it higher, because I'm no slouch when it comes to Super Smash Brothers. Alright, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna check under the microscope the USB-C port, just to go ahead and rule that out completely before we go ahead replacing ICs. Alright, let me swing the microscope over so we can get a good look at it. It's gonna look like darkness until light gets on it. There we go. So let's go ahead and get it in view. Let's see if the USB port is the issue. Maybe one of the pins has some gunk on it, or there's some corrosion. I do see a little bubble. Holy moly, that was loud. Hey, Randy subscribed to the Twitch. I mean to YouTube. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate the subscription. You know what? USB-C port is a little bit rough there. Actually, it could just be the port. One of the pins on that bottom left looks like it has a bit of corrosion on it. It's gonna get real blurry for you guys, but I'm zooming in on my end to take a look. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's quite a bit of corrosion on the top side too. Okay, so maybe it is the USB-C port just needs to be replaced. It's gonna be a bit blurry for you guys. Here, let me go back over to the overhead camera in the meantime, so you guys don't get disoriented out here. Yeah, it looked like it took a hit. It looks like one of the pins is jammed in. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and start there. Let's go ahead and replace the USB-C port. You know, at first I really did think it was that IC, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's the port. It truly is the port in the end. Like Linkin Park. Heat shield, or the strain relief and shield for the top portion, or for the bottom portion. Let's remove the one on the top side. Alright, popped on, so this is top side. Alright, see, I went and I grabbed the chip. Now I'm gonna have to grab a USB-C port, so I shall be back and we will grab that. Sorry about that. I guess I should have just grabbed it while I was there. I keep all my parts in another section of the house just to stay organized. We're back. Yes, we doing it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome, John Andrews. Welcome to the chat. Sorry, I'm just now seeing your guys' chat. And Kupalku for life, my dude from Brazil. I don't know if you actually live there currently or you're just from there, but I know that name has to be from Brazil influence. Plus, I think we were talking about it last stream when I was working on the Switch. But this isn't the Switch 2 breakdown. That's happening next week, next Saturday. So I hope you don't think it's that one. This is a Nintendo Switch OLED. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and replace the USB-C port. We got some fresh ones. Still on tape and reel. Let's go ahead, get this out. Alright, let's start there. Let's go ahead and replace it. See what we get. You know, I'm curious. If I plug it in right now, what is it gonna do? I wonder if I'm trying to see if I need to like fully reassemble it or if I can just test it like this. Let me see how much current it pulls. I think you can test it just like this. I don't see why not. Oh yeah, you can. Nice. So it's pulling 0.6 amps. Okay, so I could test it by just plugging it in with just the motherboard. That's good. That's gonna save me some time to get my answer. I tried to fix my phone before and it's messed up. No! Not you, John! Sorry to hear that, man. It happens, man. These things are so delicate. But that's why guys like me exist. Or not just like me, I guess. Anybody who's into this, they can give you a second opinion or try to work with it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add leaded solder. And for those who are tuning in for the first time, I say this every stream, I promise you. The reason you add leaded solder is to lower the overall melting temp. of the lead-free solder that they use from factory. Alright. So this is the USB-C port up close. There's a few spots that I'm going to add solder to in order to, like I mentioned, lower the overall melting temp, and then we're going to use the hot air station to remove the old USB-C connector. Oh man, forgot to put water on my sponge. Let me do that now, so I can clean off my soldering iron tip with the greatest of ease. So I'm gonna add, let me add flux first. Stanley, my cousin Stanley's favorite part. At some point that'll get old, but not today. She was probably already old. Let's see, can you guys see now? So I just added flux to these 4 anchor points, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend the solder essentially. So we're gonna come over this one, get some solder in there, that looks good. Dang it, I just touched this stupid thermal paste. I should clean it off first. Got this one. This anchor point. It's essentially going to be a similar arithmetic or process to when I'm working on HDMI ports. It's the same kind of logic here. We're trying to blend the two materials so that it makes it easier for us to remove it. And then we can clean it up after the fact. Here, I'm going to twist this around so you guys can see the pins I'm working on. I think they'll appear better from this angle. Yeah. Add some flux there. So flux is used as a way to remove oxidation. Oh, nice, Richie. Dang. My boy Richie working fast. Yo, Richie, you want a side gig, man? I need some employees, man. My brother Richie just sent me. He just finished up his trigger swap on his ROG ROG Allies, ROG Ally. It runs in the family, I suppose. Alright, so those have been mixed very well. Let's go to this backside and do the same thing on these anchor points, and then I'm going to apply hot air. So we got that mixy. Little mixy. Alright. Oof. Alright, this one's being a little difficult, so I'm gonna add some flux, clean off my tip, and try again. There we go, nice and focused. There we go. There it goes. Alright. I'm going to turn on my hot air station. Get this party started. You know what? I'm going to change the nozzle on this thing. I'm going to go to a wider nozzle. I feel like that'll get me better heat transfer. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a wider nozzle. That way I don't have to spend as much time like going in circles. Just kind of hold it in one spot and apply the heat, the necessary amount. Push more air. Alright, nice and tight. Let's get that on, baby. So this part you guys aren't gonna see it too well. Actually, here I can bring my camera closer to the edge, cause I hang my camera over the edge. Oh snap! We hit 110 followers on Twitch. Yo, we moving. All right. I think I'm gonna do it like this. Get my needle nose pliers. This tool I have. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. You know what? You know what? Yeah, let me use my Omni Vice. I always be forgetting about this expensive behind Vice, but I gotta start using it more and get my money's worth. This thing was not cheap. Just make sure you clamp down on a spot. That's not gonna cause any issue. You don't want to squeeze too hard. This is kind of nice too because it'll hold it in place for me. Still need to bring it to the edge. Oh darn, a customer's calling. What's DE? What state is DE? Alright, sorry guys, I'm gonna answer this call. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. It's crazy. I still still blows my mind that there was a point in time I only got a call. Like, I got one call in 2 weeks. Now I get like 5 calls a day. It's a lot, man. That's why I'm trying to figure out some type of method to automate the onboarding process for new customers. Cause I feel bad. It's like I'm only one dude. It's a one-man show. I don't know if it can stay that way much longer, basically. Which isn't a terrible problem to have, right? You're gonna burn your legs? Nah, man, I got legs of steel. Hey, it's Soul Man IT. Yo, what's good, man? No, Paul, you're right. If I was working at my day job, I would have had to have jeans on, but I should be okay. Plus, I have a glass floor mat underneath me, so I should be fine. I've replaced so many HDMI ports this way. But I do appreciate the concern for my well-being. I do, I do. I don't know if it's your first time in the chat, but it's nice to have you here, man. So right now we're just trying to apply even heat to the USB-C port, so that way it can disconnect evenly, and we can go ahead and remove it. Boom, just like that. Legs are intact. Stan the man said, "I feel you on the calls." Yeah, man. When you're when you own your own business, man, it's rough. But all right, let's go ahead and see how we did. From Pennsylvania, that's awesome. I know a lot of people from Pennsylvania because a lot of people where I work, they come from Penn State. Because I used to work for GE Transportation. I know GE has a big site. GE Transportation has a big site in Erie, Pennsylvania. So a lot of the workers where I'm at, they got relocated from up there. They said they're liking not having to deal with all the snow. He said first time here, not first time burning my legs. I feel you, Paul. But no, I do genuinely appreciate you saying that. I know it's coming from a good place. And technically, if OSHA was watching me, I'd probably get shut down. But we won't talk about that. Alright, so now that we have the port removed, we're going to go ahead and clean out the old solder. And so we can get it ready for the new port. And it looks like everything got dislodged successfully, so that's good. Let's go ahead and clean out the old solder, and then we're going to add some fresh solder. Add fresh solder and then get the new port in. So let me get my solder braid here. Your hands are well protected. Let's just say there's a reason I use gloves that have like a rubber fingers. Let's just say I've learned my lesson many a times. I mean, you can only solder for so long without burning yourself or, accidentally. Shoot, I have a burn on my arm, and it was because I was being dumb and I reached over a hot air station. That thing cooked me so fast. Yeah, good times, man. We're like little firebenders, and sometimes we burn ourselves. Alright, let's get this in better focus. There we go. Let's see what we can do here. Nice. Alright, let's go ahead and clear out these holes. Okay. I'm gonna see if my smaller soldering station can do the job. If not, I have a bigger tip that I can use. Yeah, I don't like that. I need to use the bigger tip. Because what happens is if you don't get the solder wick hot enough, it can pull your pads when you try to lift it because some part is still soldered down. So we're not going to play that game at all. We're just going to go ahead and remove it like that. Man, what's up with this pin? This pin looks very oxidized. Let's get this in focus. You see that? I don't know if you guys see that pin. That pin looks pretty rough. Let me clean up the board a little bit. Oh man, it's like that pin got burnt. And I bet that lines up with the one pin that I saw that was super corroded on the connector. this is why. Hopefully I can still reuse it, but it looks rough. Is that coming through? Yeah, it's coming through for you guys. You guys see how that's burnt? Where yet? Oh, yeah, I've been burned on my hands. Okay, so this pin also attaches to that one, so I could run a wire if I'm unable to get this thing soldered. If I can't solder to it, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's like it got burnt. I wonder if maybe a power supply with too much wattage got connected to this thing or something like that, something weird, or maybe just water got in. Hey, it's Billtron. Welcome, the homie. Oh man, that thing is... Okay, it's starting to flow a little. So what I'm trying to do now, guys, is just preload these pins with solder, so that way I can use hot air again to put the new port on. But I will need to get rid of the solder out of these anchor points. And I'm going to go back and add flux and really make sure I'm doing a good job of adding fresh solder, fresh clean solder. So let's go ahead and add some flux. Let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. What are you working on? I'm working on a Nintendo Switch OLED that was not charging anymore. And I think I figured out why. I think there was a corroded pin on the USB-C port. And it corroded all the way down to the console, to the motherboard itself. And I see like a burnt pin. So I'm going to try to reestablish those connections, and if needed, I may need to make new ones. So this should be a fun one. Alright, so I'm going to preload these as best as I can. Those look good. Yeah, it literally like burned. It burned the PCB. I don't know what happened to this guy, but maybe some water got in there or a spill. Let's check the other side. Yeah, it's only burnt on that pin. Alright, so right now what we're going to do is clear up the anchor points so we can place the connector down flatly and then resolder the anchor points after. Billtron, if you should have seen my story post on Instagram. Your boy was cooked. Now, granted, I am proud of myself for the fact that I went to work at the same time I normally do. I didn't show up late, so that's a W. However, around 5 p.m., that junk hit like a ton of bricks, like a bag of sand. Alright, so this is the bad port. Let me put that away. We're gonna align. We got this new port to put in. You know what? Look at this. I want to show you guys under the microscope the old USB-C port. You see that corrosion? It like literally burnt a pin. And that's why I'm seeing the damage on the motherboard. You guys can obviously see it. I don't know how that happened. It's like it burned up. Wow. That take... hope it didn't take the pad with it. Hold on, I gotta do a little bit more investigation. Yeah, it's not enough lighting for this thing. It like melted. I wonder what happened. Well, I'll have to do this offline, just not to waste time and just proceed with the repair, but I'm gonna mark this and make a note of this guy. That's interesting. I've never seen a particular pin get burnt on a USB-C connector before for a Nintendo Switch. So I'm really curious as to why that happened. But let's go ahead and clear up these anchor holes. I live near Newport. Oh, that's cool, Paul. Spilled sugary drink. That's what I'm thinking, because inside the connector I did see some like gunk. People like my story. That's funny. Alright, let's go ahead. Alright, let's clear up this top right anchor first, and then we're going to get to the others. Alright, let's go ahead and add flux to all the anchors while I'm here. And then we're going to go ahead and use our bigger chisel tip soldering iron to clear that out. John Wick the solder up. It's a joke at my job. They call copper braid or solder wick, they call it John sometimes because of that series of movies. Got one side wicked up. Hopefully we're gonna try to wick up on the other side and it gets the rest of it out. Nice. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So I got this one hole cleared up. Okay. Then we're gonna do the same thing with this anchor point. Does the person who owns the Switch travel with it often? Maybe moisture is built up in the charging port, and when they plugged it in the charge, it sparked and burned it. Potentially, I don't know if they travel a lot, but now that you said that, that brings the idea to mind that maybe like they had it in a bag with like maybe hand sanitizer or lotion. Good idea. Good point. It could be, that could have been what happened, but I don't know for certain. But that's not a bad hypothesis. Okay, nice. That anchor point cleared up pretty well. Alright. Let's go ahead and get to the others. Nice, that cleared up pretty well. And then let's get this last one. Because there's a gap underneath, the board's going to want to tilt, so just FYI, just in case it goes blurry or goes out of focus. The focal range of this scope is pretty tight. Nice. Alright. Anchor points are cleared up. Let's go ahead and clean up. And then we're going to reapply flux to just the pin area, just this section to the right. Oh, over here, just to these pins. We get ready to solder the new conductor down. Get new Kimtech white. Thankfully, it didn't burn up the pin too bad, and I believe I can still reuse this pin. So that's a huge plus. It's a huge plus. Very happy about that. Booger's flux all looks gross. Yes, it's flux. Booger on their finger when plugging it in. That's funny. The way it looked under the magnifier looks like something on a slide under a microscope. Yeah. Remember that back in biology class where they had you like slice an onion and then look at the onion underneath the microscope so you can see like the cell wall? It's kind of the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, it is cool having a microscope. So recently I saw a bug that I didn't recognize and I'm like, yo, what bug is that? And I brought it underneath the microscope and I was able to identify it. Ended up being a carpenter ant. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Alright, I think I'm good to go. I think I can go ahead and use this. So we're gonna put our new connector, line it up, and then use hot air again. Let's go back over to the overhead cam. I'm gonna get the Omnivice ready. Don't tell me the connector is wrong. Looks like the connector isn't lining up. Oh no. Okay. Dang. And I don't have any of another variety. Guess there's... How did that happen? Okay. Well, got some good news and not so good news. The good news, we were able to clean up the connector and it's ready for a new port. The bad news is the ports I have are only for the original Switch. So that's the not so great news. I didn't realize Nintendo changed the design on that. I thought I ordered the right one. But let me go ahead and get those on order right now. Darn. Okay. Well, then I'll go ahead and while I get that on order, Switch OLED will transition to another repair. Man, I hate when that happened. Yeah, the ports are different. I didn't realize that the ports were different. So that's on me. Let me see if there's any I can get here as soon as possible. Okay, there's ports that will arrive tomorrow. Alright, I'm gonna get those on order. Dang. Okay. I'm gonna have to contact the customer and let them know. Dang it. I was really hoping that they would be able to pick it up today. All right. Port is on the way. All right. All right, let's transition over to another repair while we wait for parts on that one. Okay. It's a different type of USB-C. Yeah. So sometimes, oh man, why is this thing so messed up? So even though like it's USB port, where the anchor points are different, and so that's gonna cause it just not to fit in there. And that's not something that you can just kind of finesse and make it fit. It's just like, just get the right port. That is the viable option. So in the meantime, the next thing that we're going to work on, which is in the next class of difficulty, what do you use to order parts? An Amazon or eBay type of site, or is it a distributor specifically for electronic parts? I have a distributor that I use, that I just found, but sometimes, and they offer next day shipping, which is really nice, but sometimes for something like that, when I want it the next day, it costs a little more, but I'll order through Amazon sometimes. So it just depends on timing. Like some customers pay for expedited service, so I bounce back and forth between my vendor and Amazon in order to get a part very quickly. Alright, let me switch over to just chatting. So, unfortunately, we couldn't finish the repair of the Nintendo Switch OLED today, and I've been highly considering streaming tomorrow, because I just have way too much backlog and I gotta get through it. So that way that when the time comes and I want to play my Switch 2, I can and not feel guilty. Alright, so Jarrell. Hey Jarrell! Welcome, it's your first time chatting in here. Nice to have you. So, you asked me what hot air station and soldering iron do I recommend. Well, I don't really have necessarily like a hard recommendation for a soldering iron. I know a lot of people in the space like to use the Heiko one. Me personally, I use this Yihua station, and sooner or later I'm going to get affiliate links up. I use the Yihua 948. That's what I use personally, just because it was low cost and I'm able to work around its characteristics. If I was to get another hot air station, I would get one where the hot air station is pushing air from the station, not at the handle. Mine, it pushes air from the handle, is where the blower is, where the fan is. I'd prefer one where the blower is built internally to it. Alright, so the next thing that we have, and I do have parts for, is this Xbox Series X HDMI port repair. Let's go back over to the overhead cam. You know, I wasn't a huge fan of taking these things apart before, but nowadays I don't mind. Man, look at the dust in that thing. You guys see that? I'm guessing this person has like a pet or something. Holy smokes. As always with all my repairs, what do I like to do first? Replicate the issue. So that's what we're about to do. Bring it over to my test television that has a bunch of parts in front of it right now. I can visibly see the HDMI port is definitely damaged, but this helps me confirm that the console turns on and, you know, get, oh yeah, that is super loose. Yeah, the HDMI port is no bueno. And I have that part in stock. Series S, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X HDMI port. So we have the port in stock. But as you guys can see, my TV's not even detecting it, so that means some of the pins are just completely cooked. And the port is super loose, like the cable should not be this loose when connected. So okay, at least I know it turns on. Does this person leave a game in here? Oh boy. Okay, UFC 5. Alright. Make sure I put this aside to make sure to give it back. Fun fact, I made the mistake of donating a game by accident to a customer because I left it. I was testing their PS5 with my copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I left it in there. And yeah, that game, he never contacted me. He never let me know. I found out the hard way because I went to go play it and it just wasn't there anymore. That's actually a pretty fun game. Oh yeah. All right, let's go over to the overhead cam. Let's get this thing started. Customer requested that I let him know, so I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, I'll be sure to contact the customer after the stream. Alright. 640. Alright. Alright, so the Xbox Series X, it can be quite a bear to work on. I'll tell you that. It can be quite a bear. Okay, so I have all these screws that I need to keep organized. That came from the Nintendo Switch OLED. So let me get these on the magnetic mat just so I can keep myself organized. Let me see what questions. What's your preferred system to play on? I never really played the UFC games, but I tried to use 5 on my PS Plus since it was free and it's a lot of fun, but it gets repetitive after a while. My preferred system to play on for this console generation has been PS5. Like if I'm gonna play a game, it's usually like an RPG, and lately I just gravitate towards the PS5 with those. But now that the Switch 2 came out and it's a little beefier, I think a lot of those games like Suikoden and what's the other one? There's Suikoden that came out, and oh man, I can't remember. It's like a bundle. It's a collection. Suikoden. I think it starts with a T. Wow, brain fart of the year. It'll come to me. I hope it'll come to me. Alright, so I'm just getting these Switch OLED screws put to the side in a way that I'll remember. And we can get these covers as well. Alright, now we can focus on this Xbox Series X. So first thing, there's 2 screws. There's one underneath this big long label and one here. I like to use a heat gun so that way I can preserve the label as best as I can. Don't need you on full tilt. Me too, you love the PS5? Yeah, man, it's a really good console, Biltron. Do you use any POS system? No. I mean, well, technically yes, but not like a official like kiosk or anything. I use QuickBooks. Jarrell. All right. Definitely hot. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's do that. Most people don't do this. I like to do this just to preserve the label. So that way it looks like nobody touched it after. That's kind of my preferred thing. Alright. I use my repair app. Oh, you do repairs as well, huh? I'm curious, what's the name of your business, if you don't mind me asking? And where do you operate out of? Are you local? Are you across state lines? BRB, gotta walk and feed the dog. Alright, Billtron, see you in a bit. See you when you get back. Oh yeah, this is a dusty boy. It's cool that you have an app though. Alright, enough of the heat gun. We have our labels exposed. Okay, I'm watching live. Hey! Joseph's in here. Welcome. The customer of this Xbox said he just joined the live stream. It's always cool when customers join the live stream. I think that's such a cool thing. They can see that I'm working on their console and like what it takes and all that stuff. Ooh. Oh, nice, a roach. That's great. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Alright, let me go get my vacuum. As you guys know, I don't like these bugs. That's not a good sign, but we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. Yeah, I'm from South Carolina, but I only do repairs for my family. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting that you have a repair app, like a POS system. You only do repairs for your family. Interesting. Did you make it yourself? Like, are you also into like creating apps? That's cool. Monsieur Jarrell? Okay, get the fan out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this to my garage and really use my air compressor. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get my air compressor fired on. Because, yeah, that is just too dusty for what I have in my office. Alright, I am back. Well, welcome from Florida. You're over in SC. I'm guessing this HDMI port broke a while ago or stopped working a while ago, and the customer just had it sitting somewhere maybe. Thankfully, I don't see you anymore. Thankfully. I don't make apps, but that's just the name of the POS system I use. Oh, okay. I use My Repair app. So the app's called My Repair. I got you. Yeah, that HDMI port is definitely damaged. The outer shell got damaged and then a corner. So sometimes when only the outer shell is damaged, like it's loosened up, you can still make good contact or enough contact so you can still play your games, but other times, no. Okay, gonna lift that and get it over to the side. Sorry, my head's in the way for this one. That's some weak adhesive right there. This thing doesn't want to let go. Let go. Alright. Got that ribbon cable disconnected and it is intact, so that's good. Yeah, gotcha. I misunderstood you the first time. I thought you like made it because you said, yeah, that's just the name of it. My B. I misunderstood. Man, I've done quite a few repairs on these Xbox Series X consoles. Quite a few. Alright, my air compressor stopped filling up with air, so that's a good sign. Okay, this guy doesn't want to let go. Yeah, I'm guessing the customer has like cats or something. See if I can find a better way to try to get this disk drive out. There we go, straight up, nice. We can get the disk drive out. Oof. Yeah, I know, my fan was bad, lol. It's my Xbox. Oh, hey, Joseph. No, I don't have cats. Oh, you don't have cats? Did you get this console maybe second hand? Because I do see some, what appears to be fur. Maybe it's just dust. Yeah, I know my fan was bad. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's not fur. I thought it was fur. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Should be able to slide this forward, up, and out. Okay, thankfully that was the only bug. I'm thinking that just happened because it sat for a little while. But yeah, it's dusty. I guess it was clogged up, so the fan was turning on like full tilt. You guys can see the dust there. is quite significant. Yeah, when I get this thing more disassembled, further disassembled, I'm going to use compressed air to really clean this out. Oh, I got it myself. It might be because I only keep it in one place. Oh, okay, gotcha. Maybe like somewhere down low. That could happen. Alright, let's get rid of this strap here. Use my vacuum. Sorry about the noise of the vacuum. I just want to clean this up. Alrighty. We are good, and I'll give it a good cleaning later. Alright, so let's get this controller antenna out of here. So this is the antenna board for the controller assemblies. Excuse me. Keep going. Yeah, the design of this thing is a bit much to take apart, but to be honest, it's about the same amount of time when it comes to this HDMI pair versus like a PS5. Alright, we got the first shield off. We got a few more to go. Next is the power supply. Power supply extracted. Man, there's so much to this thing. Okay, so here's the Wi-Fi antenna. Jeez, that one's really on there. Actually, put this right here. Man, was this thing opened before? Because that screw is stripped. I think this thing got opened before. Yeah, that's ridiculous. This thing is stripped to heck. I know Xbox wouldn't put that there. Okay. Seems like this console was opened up before at some point. It seems. Well, no. Well, yeah, the label did have some like scratches. I could be wrong. Who knows? But it does appear that way since it's a stripped screw. Alright, Southbridge board extracted. We are getting there. We are almost to the HDMI port. So I need to replace that. I do like that once you're in here, it's pretty much the same bit that you need to use for pretty much the whole repair, so that's super nice. Jeez. Is a slippage? Okay, no motherboards were harmed in the making of this video. Jeez. Okay, let's get our X connector over there. Or clamp. X clamp, not connector, clamp. Alright, let's take a look. Stay on the board. That's pretty good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get this HDMI port replaced. I'm going to use low melt solder. Now we're going to block off. There's a particular IC that you need to block off when doing this repair, because it is prone to getting too hot and getting temperamental. So I'm going to go ahead and block that off. Let's double layer it just to be sure. The thing is if you apply too much heat to this, or you cause it to move, a lot of times what will happen is you'll replace the port, but then it still won't work, and that'll be why. Let's do it. Let's take a look at this thing underneath an HDMI port. I'm going to show you guys the damage up close, because I know I talked about it briefly, but let's go ahead and show it to you guys. Switch on over to microscope mode. So there we have the HDMI port. Oh, get that thing in frame. Let's zoom out a little bit. So here's the damage up close for when this is what a damaged HDMI port looks like. It can look worse than this, but you see that damage on the left, that's gonna cause the signal not to get to your television. And then you see this opening on the bottom. That being opened up is why the connector feels so loose. So this is what we're replacing, because it's obviously damaged. Oh yeah, and you can see the pin got pushed back and flattened. You see that? One of the data connections? That's what that silver is, all the way back there. That should be in the black part in the middle, but it's all the way pushed back. So just want to show you guys up close. So I think it's cool to see. Alright. We're going to take a look at the HDMI ports. Alright, we can take a look at the pins. So basically what I'm going to do now is flood the pins with solder, with low melt solder, to make it easier to remove this guy. So first we're going to tackle the anchor points on the bottom side of the board. Should be in frame now. We're going to add flux, which I'm starting to run out of. I'll get that on order shortly. Pretty sure I have another tube bell in my drawer. I think I ordered 2 of these. Butterfinger. way more than I needed, but that's okay. Let me see if it wants to stick to the iron at all. Nope. Man, this thing is so liquidous. Alright, let me see if I can it stays molten for so long because it gets liquidous at such a low temperature. But that's good because that'll help us extract the solder from where we don't want it. Nice. I was able to wick it up. Man, it stays liquidy for so long. No! It splashed. That's what I didn't want to happen. When you work with solder that melts so easily, it stays as a glob for so long. Good thing I have a silicone mat, so it's not a big deal. I can move it around. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. So there's the HDMI port, and there are the pins that we want to flood with low melt solder. Alright, nice. So this should help us take this thing off with the greatest of ease. Alright, let's get our hot air station prepped up. I just clocked out of work. How's everything looking? So far so good, man. So far so good, Joseph. I hear you, man. Working on a Saturday is rough at times, but somebody gotta do it. We're just about ready to extract the old HDMI port. John Andrew Shea, what do you think about modding a Game Boy Advance? I want to do it. I just haven't had a customer want it. I'm thinking of maybe in the future using it as another sweepstakes idea. So that way, if someone wants it, that way once I get it done, I'll do like essentially like a raffle type system, kind of like what I'm doing with this Nintendo Switch 2 next week. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I'm doing a raffle / sweepstakes of a Nintendo Switch 2 next week. So if you want to stay tuned to that, please follow me on my socials, particularly Instagram, because that's where I'm most active and make the majority of my posts. And updates is going to be on Instagram. So just a heads up. let's go ahead and try to get this thing extracted. You know what? For this guy, I'm probably gonna try to do it from the top. I think that's a safer bet with this thing, man. So yeah, let me do that. Let me go over to the overhead cam. You guys won't be able to see it anyway, so. Otter station is firing up. But yeah, modding Game Boy Advance, I don't think it would be too difficult. Honestly, it's just a matter of just doing it. I haven't just done it, but I don't think it would be difficult. Oh no, I'm gonna do it from the top. My bad. So used to doing it from the bottom. That's what I was trying to do. But this time I'm gonna do it from the top. Because it's not like I'm trying to reuse this thing. That's why a lot of times we go from the bottom, is because we're trying to heat up the pins more evenly, but it doesn't matter when you're trying to remove it. And low melt solder is great. So just trying to get this thing hot enough to remove it, that's all. The Xbox Series X motherboard is a lot thicker. There's a lot more copper in it. So it takes more heat than like an Xbox Series or a PlayStation 5 to remove the HDMI port. I'm gonna try a different nozzle. I don't think I have enough airflow. Let's reapply some flux. We're gonna try again. This thing just shut off on me? Oh my word. I set it to cool off and I didn't turn it back on. My bad. Alright, it's getting there, it's getting there. I'm like, man, this thing is like cooling off. It's not even getting hot. User error. Alright, there we go. That's much better. Gotta be patient with this thing. If you pull too early, you'll do more damage. So you gotta wait for everything to be nice and hot before you pull. Before you try to lift the HDMI port out. Nice. Finally. It's out. That's what it takes. I'm back from outer space. Pull-out game gotta be strong. This guy. That's funny, Biltron. Alright, so we have the old port out. Let's toss that in the e-waste pile, and then we shall continue onward. Let's inspect. Let's look at what we got now. We're gonna have to clean these holes out. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so the HDMI port has just been removed. It's no longer on the board. And I think this is kind of one of the best ways to do it to avoid unnecessary damage to the underside. To that ESD IC. But now, because we used this low melt solder, we need to remove it from the PCB. So that's what I'm going to work on. Getting that low melt solder removed. So right now, I'm trying to clear up some of the holes and clear up the old solder I used. So that's the mission right now. Yeah, so where we're working at right now. Let me get this thing more in focus. It's a little gonna be dirty and shiny with all the old flux, but that's where we're at. Alright, and let's do the same thing from the other side of the board. Sometimes it's very difficult to get the solder out of this thing. The old solder out. Nice, that one cleared up well. Nice, this one's clearing up pretty well. Is this an Xbox? Yes, sir. It sure is. It's an Xbox Series X. This is the Xbox, the HDMI port replacement. The HDMI port replacement is a little bit more involved on this Xbox if you want to do it correctly. A lot of places, they usually charge a lot more for Xboxes versus PS5s because of this. Okay, so what we're working with now is, I think we can add some fresh solder. Well, we're gonna clean up the board a bit more, and then I think we can add some fresh solder. Alrighty, I think we're looking good. Let's go ahead and get some fresh solder down. It's more difficult repairing it on an Xbox. It's yes, but for a particular reason. Because what you do is the same, but it does make it more difficult because there's more thermal mass to deal with. And what I mean by thermal mass is that there's more copper on the Xbox. So when you're trying to get the old port off, you have more material to heat up in order to get the port off and put a new one in. It takes more energy, more heat. Alright, let's give it a try. Let's see if we can get a new port in there. But first, we're going to clean it up with some alcohol. Make sure we have a good landing zone for this new port. Alright, that side is pretty good. Let's get another side. Let's see. Let's test fit a new HDMI port. Flip on over to the overhead cam. Here's the new port. Oh, Viltron said, "What's up? Hey, it's Quell Pig. What's up, man? Does that make for a better connection the way Xbox does it?" I will say it makes for a stronger connection, Viltron. Like finding and like breaking the HDMI port on an Xbox console is a bit harder than it is on like a PS5. Nice. This song just makes me want to bounce, man. This song slaps. I know I say that like every time, but it really does. Man, dealing with this putty stuff, this thermal compound can be annoying. You know what? I think I can just solder this all by hand now. I'm not even gonna use hot air because hot air can be quite a bear sometimes when it comes to this. See if I can show you guys. I think I can. I think I can. That's what I'm going to be working on here. Trying to get a good angle of this so you guys can see. Yeah. I'm basically soldering all the data pins down manually. Touching up these 19 pins, and then from there we're going to do the push test to make sure that the connections are solid, that they're not flimsy. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we're working with. Let's zoom out, let's get this thing in focus. Alright. Nice. Alright, let's go ahead and do our push test. If the pin moves, it's not good. Alright, so pin 1, good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Nice! All pins have been soldered down successfully. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. We have a few more solder joints to make for the anchor points, and then we're good to go. Well, you don't have to wait a few minutes after soldering, but you do need to wait for the solder to cool and harden before you start touching something or moving it, because then you're going to wiggle your connection that you just made. So you do have to wait like a few seconds for the solder to cool. So technically, yes, you do need to wait, but it's not minutes though. Unless something got like molten hot, which would not typically be the case with soldering. Looking good, as Sonic says from Sonic Unleashed. In my best Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic Unleashed impression. Looking good. After you do some tricks. Oh yeah, that used to get me hyped. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna remove our tape that we applied earlier. We're going to solder these anchor points in, and then we're going to clean. Because a clean board is a happy board, and a dirty board is a sad board. It's like rich dad, poor dad, clean board, dirty board. All right. Man, that looks good, man. I'm looking forward to soldering those anchor points because sometimes it does not go down that smooth. It is such a pain in the butt. So these points, they're not only are they just anchor points, they also serve as ground points. So they also serve as a ground connection back to the board for the HDMI port. Oh yeah, baby. These joints looking good. And this ain't 420. Pause. I'm just playing. I've never smoked a day in my life. That was a joke. That was a joke. It was funny. Twitch flagged the word joint because someone said it in the chat. I think my dad did. But that is the actual term used. Like solder joint is used in the industry. It's like, who got time to say connection, man? That's too many syllables. Just say joint. It's one syllable. Easy, gets the point across. Nice. Okay. Clean up, clean up. Oh God, that is a suppressed Barney song. That is a suppressed Barney Freudian slip. Yikes. Anybody watch Barney growing up? That's funny. I don't know why that came to mind. That's a yikes. I watched Barney when I was growing up. LMFAO. Yo, that song, that's how you know some of these songs get stuck in your head for the rest of your life. They're designed that way, man. Jeez. I didn't think I'd be singing Barney on stream, but here we are. Some jazz lettuce. Jazz lettuce, that's funny. Alright, let's go ahead and clean off this old thermal paste so we can get ready to put some fresh compound board. Me personally, I don't clean around the capacitors. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion, of knocking a component off. So I just clean the die and the mating surface, the heat spreader, and that's kind of where I leave it because it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk of like knocking a capacitor off. Excuse me. Alright, we also gotta clean up this guy. I don't know what kind of solder paste Xbox uses, but this stuff gets crusty. Now granted, these consoles came out in 2020, so I can't be too mad, but dang, like I literally have to scrape it off. Here, let me do it on stream. Or so you guys can see it. The other the other one is I love you. You love me. Then they ended the show. Yeah, you're right. Boo a brush, there's no risk. With a brush, I have to learn how to use a keyboard. Huh. Not entirely sure what you mean. Alright, so we're just gonna clean up this old thermal compound. That junk is so crusty, man. Holy moly. You know, I would expect, but then again, it is that age. These consoles are getting up there, man. Time flies. We not little no more. I was commenting about the thing with cleaning in between capacitors. Cleaning in between capacitors. Buy a brush, there's no risk. Oh, with a brush. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. With a brush, I have to learn to use a keyboard. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I have a bunch of acid brushes. I don't know. It's just never really worth it, in my opinion. But everybody, I mean, I used to do it and like use one of these picks and get in between every capacitor, but it's not necessary. And so I just found like it wasn't worth the time, I guess. Maybe that's for me more from the perspective of trying to be as time efficient as I possibly can. I just hope like it doesn't come off as laziness, because it's not. I've done it so many times in the past with cleaning them off, and then I've done them without, and the consoles that I've been doing it without are still fine. They make it way beyond the warranty period I provide to customers, which is 45 days. So yeah, it seems to work okay, thankfully. Oh, snap. That's the nice thing about thermal paste is it's non-conductive versus liquid metal that they decided to use in the Xbox. You don't have to worry about it seeping somewhere. But I hear what you're saying, Oscar. Good point. Solid point. I have used the brush in the past. Alright, let's get that nice bead on there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Go Ouija. That's a nice bead. Must be some braids, because there's some beads in it. Alright. It's reassembly time. Reassembly and test time. Well, I'm glad we got this one done today, and then those USB-C ports should come in tomorrow. And since that's the case, I'm going to work on that other switch too tomorrow. Wait, what time is it? I've only been streaming for 2.5 hours. I might go for a bit longer. Hang with you guys, you cool cats in the chat. It's like, oh shucks. He's buttering us up. It's almost like he wants a donation or something. Alright, I can take this mask off. I don't need this on my face. Hashtag future. Okay. You know what? Funny enough, the customer, Joseph, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but if I get this done and it works, I mean, you could swing by and pick it up. If you're down, I'm down. If you're good, I'm great. I don't know if he's still in here, but I'll message him, of course, after when I update the estimate to an invoice. So we tested all of our connections. They look good. I didn't test for shorts, but through visual inspection, I didn't see any shorts. That doesn't mean there isn't any shorts present, but I think we're good. Philtron said, you know what could be a funny video idea? You know how in action or military movies you see someone taking apart and reassembling a gun super fast? You could do a video of you speed running, disassembling, and reassembling a controller or something. Like a time lapse? Like a montage? Is that what you're thinking? Kind of like a montage? Like when they're super not swole, and then the montage happens, and then in 5 minutes they're super swole, and 10 years pass by. Like that, haha, the grizzled vet. You know, I like that idea. You know, a movie comes to mind is not Ransom. There was a movie with Nicolas Cage that we used to have on DVD. Crap, can't remember it. But that was a good one. And that's what's coming to mind right now. Let's get this one assembled. Or like Top Gun or something. Top Bloke Gun. You know what? I turned on my air compressor, but honestly, I could have just used this thing. This is like my smaller one. This guy. Man, that HDMI port looks good. That Conexiones looks good. Alright, next we need to get the South Bridge board back installed. Just like that. Just like that. Alright, and then for this point, I like to rotate it this way. And I always make the mistake of not putting this thing in first. That's what you're supposed to do. It always pisses me off because I always forget sometimes. What an oxymoron. I always forget sometimes. How that makes sense? You know, sometimes I overthink about what we say as humans. Maybe I shouldn't think about it. Maybe I shouldn't. I have to remember to turn off my air compressor. Maybe I can still use it for like the chassis and the fan, because those had quite a bit of dust on them. But the heatsink was, you know what? Oh no. Did not mean to lift that up. That's alright. It's fine. Alright, let me go ahead and give this one a quick blowout. Like a barber. Well, I will say, this Xbox will run better. It'll definitely run cooler, because that thing was clogged. Must have been like one of the OG ones. Probably got it like day one or something, maybe. Alright, that's nice and in. Let's get these screws in. Worlds. is the head that had the stripped screw. I wonder if they stripped the threads or something. I hope not. I mean, there's still plenty of other screws to hold it down, so I'm not worried either way. Man, this was a solid repair, man. That low melt solder, as much as it can be temperamental to work with, it is very advantageous. The screw is so stripped. Like, what did someone use? A power drill on that thing? Jeez. Had the wrong bit, is what I'm guessing. He said, is that like a vacuum? It does have an attachment to be a vacuum. It's a blower and a vacuum. And I use it as like basically an air pump. For like cleaning up smaller devices and whatnot. It works pretty well for that. That's what I like to use it for personally. Like this power supply. This power supply is pretty dusty. So I can just use this thing. It's also great if you're a barber, because then you can use wind to blow the hair off of people before they get out of your chair. I know my cousins use it for that reason. He said, that's pretty cool. It's like a smaller shop vac. Precisely. Because, you know, when it comes to electronics, you can't be too aggressive. That's how problems happen. Destruction. Destruction ensues. Man, that's funny. Wait, what's interesting is most of my viewers used to be on my Twitch side, but it seems like people like to gravitate towards the YouTube side now. Oh, it's probably because there's no ads yet. Well, enjoy it while you can. I'm gunning for them ads, man, on these live streams. So it's ad free for now. But yeah, I know the whole monetization thing can be a pain. Until the electronics fight back. What is this, Toy Soldier? You guys remember that movie, Toy Soldier? I think it was even a Disney movie. That movie was tight. The little General Commander dude, and then the little cricket-looking toy. It was a cool movie. I had the action figure of the leader of the animal-looking guys. Yeah, that's cool. That movie was always super cool to me. I used to go back and watch it multiple times. He had the little horn in the middle of his hand. Yeah! See, Biltron gets it. He gets it. He's picking up what I'm putting down, man. I had it on VHS, LMAO. Yeah, we had it on VHS too. Exactly. The old-fashioned way. Before the DVDs came. The DVDs. Phenomena. I will admit it does suck that you have to do all this reassembly to test it. Now, granted, do you need to put all the screws in? No, but like it's a lot just to get to the point to be able to test. That's looking nice, man. It's not a lick of dust on this thing, but I would not lick it though. Pause. Pause. Hey, yo, pause. So this thing needs to go this way. Even Blu-rays are becoming outdated. Yeah. They seem to be making like a little comeback, kind of. I'm noticing more stores are selling them again. Like retro stores. Excuse me. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna head to the big boy air compressor to try to clean up the chassis and the fan assembly. So 1 second, peoples. Wolfpack, I shall return. Alright, mi gente, we back. Did you miss me? No? Alright, that's okay. That's okay, I guess. Alright. I keep hearing Best Buy is eventually gonna get rid of physical media like music and movies. I think they'll still have physical games. Yeah, I think ultimately it's just based on the market. If people push back enough, or if they come up with a solution that isn't too bad for consumers, I could see them going to digital. Me personally, I like physically owning my stuff because then they can't take it with me like Sony tried to do with Blu-ray purchases. Well, not tried to do, which they did. And it's like you're losing the junk you paid for. That don't feel good. Oh yeah, peoples, I'm gonna say it again. I guess I'll have to make a post for the YouTube side, but on the Twitch side, it's super easy to see. But I do have a Discord now. It's super legit. A friend of the channel and a Discord developer assisted in the making of it. So it's like very high tech. Like it has an onboarding and all that good stuff. And you can select your role, and so it'll prioritize content for you based on what you're interested in. So feel free to stop on by the Discord if you want to like be in touch with me, or sometimes I'm gonna be streaming myself playing video games or if I'm just gonna be hosting something, that's where you can get all the information on the Wolfpack. We're also working on a Reddit, or I'm working on having a Reddit. Basically, I'm gonna use Reddit like how I use Instagram, just posting some of the things I've worked on. So that way, if anybody is searching in Reddit, it'll circle back to my videos, which can give them the information they may need in order to repair something for themselves. Okay, that's good. Alright, those connections look good. Let's get the anti-dampening assembly for the disk drive. It's essentially a piece of plastic with some rubber on it to dampen the vibration of the disk drive spinning. Nice. Also, oh no. I forgot I forgot something to install something. Darn it. Well, good thing I didn't get too far. It's no big deal. It happens. Happens to the best of us. That's the beautiful thing about being live. I can't hide jack. I can't hide nothing, man. Everything's all out in the open. People can criticize live, which I don't mind. Because it's all okay as long as you correct it. The problem is if I see that and then I just keep going. I love Reddit. I use that all the time. Word. Hey, the r/wolfpack electronics is already up. We got a subreddit. It's up, man. Join. You can be the third member. I have 2 accounts joined, so it's basically only me in there. But you should join. You should do it. Do it, Biltron. Do it now. It's like saying, do it now, Gohan. Dragon Ball Z reference for the Cell Saga. And good thing the screw is right there as soon as I take this out, so it's no big deal. Oh, wait, no. Let me properly take out the disk drive so I don't have to worry about it. Did you join yet, Biltron? Vegeta! Of course I'm a DBZ fan. Of course. Can't help it. I was raised this way. Alright, I forgot this piece. And the antenna module. I think this is for a wireless controller connectivity or Wi-Fi, one or the other. Well, we can't not install that. That would be but I would have caught it because I run a Wi-Fi test and a wireless controller test because I know those are replaceable modules, so I would have caught it anyway. That's why it's nice to have processes in place because the world's not perfect. Hey, Biltron's there? Word! The only post I have up right now is the one about the Switch 2 Midnight release, which also is like the super teaser for the giveaway. Or, I can't say that, raffle/sweepstakes. Okay. Now we just gotta repeat what we just did, but that's easy, because we just did it. Thank you, Billtron, for joining the subreddit, man. I wish there was a way to like give someone like VIP, like a badge or something, because I would definitely give you one. You earned it at this point. OG, triple OG. And it's always fun chatting with you. That's why I'm like always excited when you join, when you're able to. I'm like, it's Billtron. He be chatting. Hey, well, appreciate the reply. I seen the live after the midnight release you had. It was a lot of fun. Yo, man, shout out to Billtron. W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Billtron, man. Good dude. But yeah, if you use Discord as well, it'd be cool if you join the Discord. I kind of want to make it more active in there. Get some more engagement. Alright, listen in. Let's get that in. This drive is in. Let's get the dampener. The anti-dampening device. I never really used Discord before. I've heard about it a lot. Yeah, it's a nice way to have like a communication platform. When you're on PC, and there's also a phone app, so it's nice sometimes. Like if I'm on my PC and I'm talking to someone, I could just be like, send it on Discord, so that way I can see it while I'm on my PC and they're on their phone. It's just little stuff like that. I really like Discord. I use it a lot when I'm playing Destiny, because the LFG, which is like the group of people when you're trying to run a raid, that's how you find them. So, it's good stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. Alright, at this point we could test. You gotta be kidding me. Man, I am slacking today. What is happening? Seems like it works good on multiple platforms seamlessly. Yes, it absolutely does. It's absolutely goated. So yeah, I highly recommend giving it a try. A lot of communities end up using it. So I just want to make sure I'm everywhere as much as I can be. That way people can use it to contact. I know in the future I want to start having like my guides on there. Or I could just make a website. It's possible too. Alright, we forgot the power connector screws, so we're just gonna install those right now. I'll definitely check it out. Nice. Alright, final screw check. No screws are missing. Holy moly. Feel like a buster now. That's alright though. That's alright. Sometimes it happens. Keep moving forward. Alright, we're almost to the point where we can test this thing. Interesting. I watch a lot of Marvel comics and movie breakdown channels, and they mention that the Discord a lot. And this other one, which other one I watch called Y-Files. That's more aliens, cryptids, and other stuff. That's funny and interesting. Gotcha. Alright, finally. Let's test this thing, y'all. Alright, let's do it. Let's go over to the Just Chatting cam. Over to the test television. Oh, HDMI 1 appeared. HDMI 1 appeared. It's a W. It's a W. We got an image. Successful HDMI port replacement. Look at that. Uh-oh. I don't want to, like, drop this guy's whole stinking username. Didn't mean to do that. Here, is there a button I could use? This button? What does this button do? Nope. This button? That button? Nope. I just need to block out the thing. Alright. We know it works. That's a W. That's a W. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate it. His social's out there now. I know, man. Now he's gonna get flooded with messages. People are gonna be asking him who he's dating. Bruh, I just doxed this man. Pause. I did not, but you know, you get the point I'm making. Alright, I need a controller to run some diagnostico. I need a USB-C. I found one. USB. USB. BSU. That's what I plug everything into. Bars. How y'all like that Barney remix? Ah, I'm stupid. I'm dead, man. USB, BSU. That's what I plug everything into. Okay, I guess the controller needs an update. Yeah, I gotta write that down. I gotta write that down. I'm stupid. Yeah. But in a good way. The good kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Like, dumb, the good kind of dumb. You know? Oh my goodness. Alright, so we got a good amount of stuff done. That does suck that the USB-C port was not the right one. I didn't realize that Nintendo made 2 different revisions, but it should arrive tomorrow. Hopefully no shipping issues occur. And then tomorrow evening I should have it done, and then I'm guessing I don't really do pickups. I don't do pickups or drop-offs on Sundays, so it'll be Monday. It'll be the earliest pickup for that one. Which isn't too bad. I mean, it was pretty late anyway. The good kind of dumb. Precisely. You get it now. Oh my goodness. I'm just waiting for this controller to update. Apparently, I left it on the shelf too long. That's annoying. All I wanted to do is just check the disk drive and check, oh, let me put that game back in the disk drive. Because I don't want to forget it. Alright, disk drive accepted the disk, no problem. Controller update is at 53%. So let's go on and go on over to the overhead cam. I'm just gonna perform my cleanups now. That hurts. Okay, that sucks. That's like PlayStation. Anytime you look at it, it needs an update, or a game needs an update of an update. Yeah, I totally feel that. I share that sentiment. I don't know what it is. It's like every time you go to play, it's updates. Oh. I guess the game just decided to launch. I guess he has auto launch, huh? Who's that? Israel? Mr. Adesanya himself? Let's go to the home menu. So there's a few things I like to test. The disk drive is one of them, so that tested just fine. And let's do a network test. Set up wireless network. Alright, Wi-Fi is working, controller's working, controller works in wireless mode, no problem, no latency. Cool, that's a W. Now we're just going to do final assembly. But at that point, I would call that a fix. Sweet code in, and man, I still forgot the name of that other RPG series that they remade. I know it starts with a T. God, it's gonna piss me off. What's the name of that joint? I just ordered it too. I think I ordered it off of Bezos.com. Lunar. It was the Lunar series, the Lunar collection. That's what it was. So it didn't start with a T. I'm stupid. All right, it started with an L, and and I just took an L because I thought it started with a T. Alright, let's go ahead and do final reassembly. Alright, that's in. Then we can put the Mac in, get the screws in. It's good. Well, I will say it's a lot less dusty in this thing, so that's good. Alright, and this is what I care so much about, is that you can't really tell someone's been in here. Boom. No cuts, just straight label. Looks good. Looks factory. Alright, so that's a completed order. Wait, what? That's the biggest downside to gaming these days. These developers put games out half finished and have this "we'll fix it with patches" mentality. Agreed. At least with old gen, we got fully completed games. I'm shaking my fist at the clouds currently. I totally understand that. Totally understand where you're coming from with that one, and I 1000% agree. It's so frustrating. Time is it? 8:30. Okay. I'm gonna hop off stream, and I'm gonna be working on the rules and regulations for the sweepstakes. I wanted to get that posted today, so hopefully I might get it out tonight. And yeah, let it cook for a week. We got a week of advertisement for this Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway, and as proof that I have them, this is the giveaway console. And how you know it's a giveaway console? Still has the sticker on it. Still's got the... Let me get a little bit of reflection on there. Anyway, the little ceiling sticker is still on there. It's still on there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, over here. Oh. Yeah, it's still on there. So, this is the console that we'll be doing a Nintendo Switch 2 sweepstakes with. And the reason I have to say sweepstakes is because it's not just a raw raffle or giveaway. There's like things you can do to get more entries. So I have to call it like a sweepstakes, I suppose. Based on the legal information that I found. But that's gonna be good. I can't wait. I'm hoping to get like a good amount of engagement and followers from that. Robot police officer, what is that small black box that has all the video ports on it on your desk? Oh, 1 second. You're talking about this guy. So originally I was going to use this device to connect to my capture card. So that way, whatever I needed to plug in, I could just plug it into this. So I'm using only the one input for my capture card that's plugged into my PC. So that way I could show you guys instead of running over to the test stand TV. But it didn't really work. And I'm not entirely sure why it didn't work. So that's kind of the issue. I don't know if it just doesn't work with my capture card. I have some more testing I need to do, like with my television. Maybe it was just a capture card issue. But that's what that is, and that's what I was going to use it for. So that way I can streamline the process. Because, like I said, I have a capture card, and I can show raw data from consoles or anything that uses a HDMI connection. Ever thought of a secondary use for it? Yeah. I mean, just as like a switcher. Like if I was trying to connect any of these types of inputs to an HDMI television, just that. Because it has component, composite, S-video, I think, excuse me. Oh no, not S-video, but it has VGA and coax. So it's really good. It's versatile for trying to test older consoles, newer consoles. It just helps out a ton. You mind if I ask the brand? No, don't mind at all. Um, it's just called HD Switch, WSTD. I think it's some. I've seen this thing without that brand name on it, but it looks identical. So I think it's just something from China, and then people will get it here and drop ship it, and then put their label on it. So that's all it is. There's nothing special. But yeah, let me just chat with you guys. But yeah, I'm getting ready to sign out here shortly. I really gotta get that work done on my sweepstakes, right? Can't be announcing something and not have it planned out. You know what I mean? But I did find a solution, so it's just a matter of finalizing and then posting and then blasting it. And then for the first time ever, I'm gonna pay for advertisement on social media. I've never done that before, so hopefully it's worthwhile. Basically, I'm only gonna do it for a week, basically just before the sweepstakes. Excuse me, that was rude, but but yeah, that's what I'm looking to do. So that way people can know about it and get some engagement. I'd even partnered up with, like, not partnered, that's a strong word, but I asked some of the local places I frequent that if they would be willing to have a couple of my flyers up just to talk about it and maybe shout it out on social media. So this is kind of a favor to me, and I'm super grateful for them for that. Shout out to Island Root, EGAD, well, all their brands. They have 12 locations, but shout out to them. Tony, the owner, and his son Tyler, they're cool people. So I really appreciate them doing that, because their place gets a lot of foot traffic, and I'm not there all the time, but I'm there pretty frequently. So it's cool that they were willing to do that for me. I've paid them a lot with, their beverages and whatnot, I suppose. So it works out in the end. All's well that ends well, I suppose. But networking is meta, man. It's nice to have people who support you and that you can rely on, who are willing to just help out, not give you too much crap about it and whatnot. So that's always nice. Anyway, folks. Alright, Wolfpack. We had a Nintendo Switch OLED USB-C port removal. I won't call that a failure, even though we didn't have the right part, but I'll just say we got it prepped. So we have the removal. The part should arrive tomorrow. I don't typically stream on Sundays, but I most likely will. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm not going to make it this iffy thing. I'm just going to show up tomorrow. Pull up if you want to. It would be cool. I'm going to finish up that USB-C port repair and just work through other orders. Why not? Instead of, like, playing my Switch 2. I want to so bad, but that's what happens when you start a business and you ask for this. You can't complain when you ask for it, you know? Hello, do you Frankenstein on PS3s? I have one that I never use because of paranoia it'll give out eventually. Also have a standard fat PS3 but with yellow light of death. Can you fix that too? So Rick, my response to you is I am developing my technique for doing the Frankenstein mod. I'm well aware of it. I'm aware of Rip Felix and the whole community, or RIP Felix. I have 4 backwards compatible PS3s in my possession. One of them works outright, but I don't. Same like you, I have paranoia with running it, and then the others, I'm using them as candidates. I currently have access to an FPGA rework station that I want to start using and build my technique on that. But once I get it consistent, because it's a lot of work to mess up, and if you mess it up, it is a pain in the absolute butt, and it hurts because of what you're losing by messing that up. So it's not a service I'm offering to people just yet, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's definitely something I want to get done because I have my own backwards compatible ones, and I have a few PS3 Slims for donors to harvest the CPU from. So hopefully that answers your question, Rick. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. I want to get that technique done and developed by the end of the year. Is my goal because it's a lot, right? Um, I've already attempted it once and it didn't go so smoothly, but I learned from it, and I think that's just gonna happen. Basically, I didn't remove the moisture from the board, the motherboard, and it delaminated in some spots, so that sucks. It may still be salvageable, but when it comes to delaminations and boards with multiple layers, sometimes you lose it, you know. But casualties are gonna occur with learning. That always happens. Thanks for the info, man. Yeah, of course. But all right, everybody. Hopefully I answered all your questions. If not, join the Discord. We have a Discord. Link is in my on my Twitch page. Join it. Join it. I also have a Reddit as well. I'm trying to be more active on my other platforms. Um, it's a lot considering, I'm not trying to make excuses, but full-time job, all that crap, life be lifing. But yeah, if you stay tuned on there, you'll definitely get all the latest and greatest information. We have some bots to keep things updated, to automate some things for me, so that helps. Um, Trying to think of anything else. Next Saturday is the sweepstakes and the raffle. You want to follow me on Instagram for sure, because that's where I'm going to be posting most of my updates. And then from there, the other platforms. But Instagram is the one I'm most active on, and that's my primary social media. So if you're not following me there, you want to do that. It's at wolfpackelectronics. That's where all the details are for the sweepstakes that I'll be doing next Saturday. And that's also the teardown stream. And I'm not tearing down the giveaway switch, by the way. I know some people were thinking that. No, I'm taking apart the one that I'm currently using, actively using, because I'm not going to void the warranty for somebody else. I'll void the warranty for myself because, not trying to brag, but I am the warranty. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'll be my own warranty uh, for that switch too. So if something goes wrong, I'll just hold that. So yeah. All right, peoples. It was nice to have the pack with me one more night. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for tomorrow's stream. It's gonna be a special stream because I don't normally stream on Sundays, but we about to do it because I feel kind of bad about this OLED. Um, so we're gonna get that done as soon as the parts come in. But all right, everybody, I will catch you guys in the next stream. Peace.